It finally happened. The New York Jets have traded Mike Williams away to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a fifth-round pick, and we have to talk about this. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. The New York Jets are back in business, and only 11.5% of viewers are subscribed who are watching this. Let's get those numbers up, but let's talk about football because, Matt, no need to dance around it. Mike Williams is a Pittsburgh Steeler, like I predicted. And the New York Jets, the Mike Williams era that once started with a sandwich is now over. And obviously this is pretty surprising to see it happen just out of the blue to the Steelers. It felt like they kind of went quiet for a little bit. But a move that many expected, and the Jets trading Mike Williams for literally whatever they could get back, did happen. And I'm really excited with what they got back in return. Because the New York Jets, I mean, it felt like they weren't even going to get anything back. And a fifth-round pick, obviously, it's not great, but it's not nothing, man.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they gave the Jets a fifth-round pick, and they're picking up the remainder of Mike Williams' salary for the rest of the year, which leaves the Jets open to free agent signings. But we're going to see if they're even going to do anything with that cap space. It's in the single digits now, so don't expect any type of huge moves for the Jets. I think it was the right move to trade away Mike Williams because he was, when the receiver room is fully healthy, he was the wide receiver 4. He was not really getting on the field. He didn't really develop any sort of chemistry with a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. So I think when we can get a fifth-round pick, if it was a seventh-round pick, I would say, okay, that's not really going to turn into anything. A sixth-round pick, I would be like, but a fifth-round pick, that's something that can absolutely turn into a player who could be a potential difference maker in the future for the Jets. Right now, the season isn't going the way we want it to. So, and after we have gotten rid of a bunch of our future draft capital, it feels good to bring some of it back in. The one problem that this brings up is now our receiving core is a little bit weak should someone be injured. And right now, of course, Allen Lazard is injured. So right now, the receiver core is a little bit weaker than you would like to see it. But some new guys are going to have to try to break out now. So Xavier Gibson, we're going to see if he can step up. Malachi Corley, I really think they're going to start calling more plays for him. Even though he did fumble, he didn't get any more touches that game. But going forwards, he has to be someone who is schemed up. He has to be getting touches. He has to be getting handoffs, maybe some pitches. He's probably going to take away some reps from Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, our running backs. But really want to see Malachi Corley get involved with this offense now that Mike Williams' snaps have been given away to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously this does open it up for Malachi Corley, and that play was atrocious. I mean, the Jets they won the game, so it's not the end of the world. Had they not, things would have looked a lot worse. But I kind of like that they're going to give it to a guy who could actually have an impact on the future with the Jets. We all knew no matter what, Mike Williams was going to leave the Jets in free agency, so getting a fifth-round pick for a guy who was guaranteed to be leaving in free agency, I'm a fan of the move, especially because Williams, it's not like he was really producing with the Jets. I mean, in the games he played, he only got 12 receptions in total for 166 yards. 166 yards, I can't read. His yards per reception, lower than usual at 13.8. 0 touchdowns on the season. Mike Williams just did not ever really seem to click with the New York Jets. There was times he was running the wrong routes that led to game-ending interceptions and just bad plays at the end of close games that the Jets ended up losing. It felt like this marriage just clearly didn't work out. He was coming off the torn ACL, so he had some leeway over the first few weeks, but then things changed, and it just kind of felt like this was never going to go anywhere after around week 4 or 5. We kind of knew where it was at, so I'm kind of happy they got that fifth-round pick, just in the sense of, hey, man, like, this guy was gone, and now you get something of some value for him, and at the same time, you get to see some younger guys. Like, this feels like a massive win for the Jets in a sense of any way that trading away Mike Williams could potentially be a massive win. Obviously, like, it's not Steelers Digest. I think it's a decent trade for the Steelers. I don't think he's the exact type of wide receiver they need, but they do need receiving. So, good for the Steelers. Good move for the Jets in total. And now it comes down to who you're really going to see, because it's not that guy who we just showed you. So, it is interesting to see what's going to happen with the New York Jets down the line. With Lazard being out for a while, they're going to resort to other guys for sure. We'll see some action from the tight ends. And look, it's do or die time in the season, so they're going to need someone to produce. Do you think it's going to be more of a Malachi Corley type situation because his style of being a wide receiver more replicates Mike Williams than Gibson, or do you think we'll see more of Xavier Gibson?
I mean, of those guys, we'll probably see more Xavier Gibson because he's been with the franchise for more years. He's higher on the depth chart, and he has been better so far with the Jets. But my guess is that wide receiver 4 spot, and right now wide receiver 3 with Allen Lazard injured, is just going to be by committee. There's going to be a bunch of guys. Irvin Charles is going to get some snaps here and there. It's not going to be, I don't think any guy's really going to take over and snag that spot. What this probably is going to mean is that Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson are going to get force-fed targets. Garrett Wilson leads the league in targets. Davante Adams, he's always going to get his. He's that type of superstar. So that's what's going to happen on the targets front. Also, Tyler Conklin, he's a pretty solid player. He scored a couple touchdowns here in the later weeks, and I think he can be pretty good. We're going to see if Jeremy Rucker can make something of himself in the NFL coming out of Ohio State, getting drafted in the 3rd round. He is a solid blocker, but we want to see more of him as a receiving threat. So we know he did it at Ohio State, so we want to see if he can make that transition in the NFL as a receiver as well. Getting rid of Mike Williams is also it's just going to free up snaps, targets, and hopefully production for everyone else on the Jets roster right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder if they're going to go into and take a look at any, like, free agent receivers at all, just because obviously this does thin out the receiving core, especially without having Lazard there. Certainly there is a thinner Jets receiving room now, and I mean, to have a deep threat like Mike Williams is always helpful. Obviously, Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson being there make Mike Williams a lot less important. But I am curious if they're going to go out there and sign anyone. Like, it's certainly something that we could see happen, and I mean, frankly, I'd like to see if they were, or I'm more just kind of interested to see if they're going to go for, like, any veteran receivers at all. Do you think they would?
I mean, at this point, they have some cap space, but I think there is a guy who they should be going after, but he's not a receiver. Today, trade deadline date, November 5th, the Cleveland Browns released defensive tackle Quinton Jefferson, who was on the Jets last year. And we've seen so far this year, the defense, the run stuffing has just not been there. The run defense, while it wasn't elite last year, it has fallen down from where it was. And it's clear as day when you watch the team that Joe Douglas let too much run support walk out the front door or over free agency of last summer. So I think bringing back Quinton Jefferson would bring some more beef to that front 7 and would really help us plug up the run game a little bit better. Right now, he wouldn't be able to play this weekend, but, Cardinals run-heavy team. After that, the Colts, we know they want to run the ball. Maybe Anthony Richardson is even the quarterback. With how bad they looked on Sunday night, Anthony Richardson might be the quarterback for the Colts coming up against the Jets here. So, Quinton Jefferson, that's the free agent that I'm right now. That's what I want the Jets to spend their assets on right now.
That does feel like something they might be interested in doing also. I mean, definitely seeing Jefferson be waived and just giving some more defensive tackle help would be huge for a team that desperately needs some sort of run stopping that they just have not had at all this season, which, I mean, no one expected the Jets run stopping to be as bad as it is, so yeah, I mean, I'd be down for the move, especially just considering you still have Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams. Like, you don't need some top-tier wide receiver 3 when you have the best receiving duo in football. Like, it's not something that's a necessity or something, so who are you thinking of?
I mean, are they the best receiving duo in football?
Who else is there?
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle?
Yeah, I guess with, like, the injury to Tua, and I know he's coming back and all, I just completely forgot they existed because the Dolphins are just in the middle of a lost year, honestly.
Also, Jalen Waddle has, like, I bet on him to get over 1,000 yards this season, and I was thinking, wow, the over-under is 1,000, so what? He's going to have the worst season of his career, and he has, like, 300 yards right now. So, yes, he will be having the worst year of his career.
Well,
I have to apologize to him because it's completely my fault. The moment I bet on him, his season was just sunk.
Yeah, you definitely cursed him with that one, but also at the same time, it's probably just the fact of Tua being injured.
That can't be it. That it had to be Chris. You don't understand. It had to be me.
It's you. It's like that LeBron tweet. Maybe it's me.
It's like the Breaking Bad thing.
All of it. It's about me. No, it's literally that, obviously. But no, like, I'm not too fazed about the Mike Williams trade. I don't really care that the Jets lost him. I think it's going to be better for the team for sure, and I am looking forward to seeing how they look. Obviously, Mike Williams didn't have a massive impact, but getting another 5th-round pick doesn't hurt at all. Look, if Joe Douglas is drafting for the Jets, he's pretty good at drafting, so I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. That's a big if because we think he's done a great job with the roster, but if this season keeps going down the trajectory that it was before the Texans game, then it's going to be really tough for Joe Douglas to stay on because GMs, no matter how well they do, and they usually don't do very well when a team's doing this poorly, but they don't survive. So Joe Douglas, whether he would resign or get fired, if this team ends the year with like 5 or 6 wins, I don't see how Woody Johnson would bring him back.
Neither could I. But guys, let us know what you think down below. Do you like the Mike Williams trade? Do you not like it? What are your thoughts? Let us know. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.